Yo, what's up? Today I'm talking about an album that pretty recently just came out. Defeated Sanity's Chronicles of Lunacy. Jeez, this sample is fucking stupid. In the background, we are listening to Shadows of the Past by Sentence. This is a reissue that comes with North From Here and Shadows of the Past. This is decently, I wouldn't say really underrated, but not really that well talked about band. They're called Sentence. They're from Finland. I think this is from like 1991. Pretty cool. I'll review it eventually. I try to review stuff that I actually own, so that's why. So this is from late 2024. This album is the successor to, if I can just grab it right now, The Sanguinary Impetus, which this is a notoriously hard album to show because it's really fucking dark, but I'm trying not to get my reflection. But yeah, very good album, very crazy, probably their most technical ever, if not this one. This one, I mean, Defeated Sanity's had a couple, like, phases, I guess. Prelude to the Tragedy is pretty complex, but compared to stuff like this, their newest form, it's pretty basic. It sounds like old, Netherlands, kind of, like, Pymea a little bit. It just sounds like old school Unique Leader stuff. It's not as memorable and as unique as something like Psalms of the Moribund or Passages. But when those albums were coming out, they became very progressive. They added a lot more jazz influence. They kind of came into their own sound. And then Chapters of Repugnance came out, and that's kind of like, that one is kind of just a pure extremity. There's way less jazz influence. It's more just like, it's more about pummeling drums, pummeling riffs, insanely heavy slams, really cool breakdowns. And then Disposal of the Dead is also kind of like that. And then Dharmata, the other side of that EP, whatever you want to call it, is like atheist, cynic, worship, like progressive, spacey kind of 90s death metal. And then Sanguinary Impetus comes out, and it's super, super jazzy. Basically like a jazz album with blast beats and gravity blasts and all this sort of shit. But this is the successor to that. Came out 4 years after. But this album was, I think, written relatively fast. Love that disc. I have a t-shirt of the album covered somewhere. So the lineup here is Josh Welshman on vocals, Von Stoffe on guitar. That's Von Stoffe, that's Jacob Schmidt on bass, that's Josh Welshman on vocals, and then Lele Gruber, the mastermind, on drums. So yeah, this album is the second with this lineup, and the track list is Amputations Drang. That's definitely not how you say it, but I don't know. The Odor of Sanctity, Accelerating the Rot, Temporal Disintegration, Extrinsically Enraged, A Patriarchy Perverse, Condemned to Vascular Famine, and Heredity Violated. Right off the bat, Amputations Drang is a great one. Actually, every song on here is strong, but some of them kind of blend together, and I don't remember many parts from. But Accelerating the Rot is a good standout. Temporal Disintegration was my favorite for a while. The drum intro is really cool. Well, it's not really... the drums in the intro are really cool. They're very... it feels very disjointed, and it kind of subverts your expectations. And then Condemned to Vascular Famine has a drum intro, and it's very... It's just cool. It's got Lele Gruber uses a electronic drum pad. I think he has 2 of them on his kit, and he implements that in the intro, and it sounds really cool. And he plays this rhythm, and you start getting into it, and the guitars come in, and they're just doing a completely different, I think they're quarter notes. It's just completely different rhythm, and it throws you off, but that's probably the best on the album, either Temporal Disintegration or Condemned to Vascular Famine. But A Patriarchy Perverse is another great one. This album has amazing guitar work. I think the guitar work is the best part, which usually my favorite on Defeated Sanity albums is the drums, because Lele Gruber is a fucking god, but I'd say the guitars here are the standout. Let me look in the insert here. because I've only listened to this CD I think once since I bought it, and that was in like November, so it was a couple months ago at this point. Yeah, just lyrics. Yeah, it was recorded in January 2024 by Colin Marston of well, he's in Gorguts, he's in Senethrak. I don't know what else he's in, but he's really cool. Danny Nelson apparently has backing vocals on Amputations Drang and Accelerating the Rot, which I have not been able to make them out, but maybe I need to re-listen to it because Danny Nelson is a great vocalist. But anyways, yeah. This is probably, I don't know, because Psalms of the Moribund is probably my favorite, or Passages, but these two newer ones are my favorites after that. But these two newest albums, The Sanguinary Impetus and Chronicles of Lunacy, this might be the pinnacle of the band. This sound that they've achieved on these last two albums are insanely brutal, insanely jazzy, insanely proggy, still blisteringly fast. It's just some of their best work. It's probably their most refined or defined, whatever word you would care to use. Like there's really nothing else to me that sounds like The Sanguinary Impetus, and there's nothing that sounds like this. This is really I haven't heard anybody imitate this album, at least yet, and I haven't heard any, like, I can't be like, oh yeah, this sounds like an old school this album, or this sounds like this one album from 2015. Like, I don't hear any similarities with a lot of other BDM bands. They're kind of in a league of their own. They're kind of a little bit above everybody else in terms of creativity and musicianship, which they've been like that for a while, but with the addition of Vaughn Stoffi, he's a really great guitar player, really nice guy. Josh Welshman is too. His vocals are fucking unhinged, and they are a little bit easy to understand, but also a little bit not. It's weird because they've always had like non-American singers for the most part, besides AJ Mangana, and the guy they actually get that's from America sounds as foreign as the other people. It sounds like he has some accent, but his vocals are just really, really unhinged, and they sound amazing live. I've seen Defeated Sanity twice now. But yeah, this album is a masterclass in brutality and technicality, making those two things go hand in hand. Really original album. I keep coming back to this one. One of my favorite albums from the past couple years. I say this and that Ancient Death album and that Flesh Mangled album. I don't know that much that sounds like any of those three, but I'd say this is probably the most unique out of them. But yeah, this album, 8 songs, doesn't overstay its welcome at all. They played almost all of it live, and they're just insane, man. You just gotta listen to it. Listen to it once, listen to it twice, listen to it a third time, and then you'll find yourself wanting to go back to it, wanting to go hear that one riff on Accelerating the Rot, or the beginning of Condemned to Vascular Famine. Like, it's just like, oh shit, I gotta listen to that again. My top 4 in pretty much any order is Psalms of the Moribund, Passages into Deformity, Chronicles of Lunacy, and what's it called? The Sanguinary Impetus. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next thing they'll do, because they have said they're working on new stuff. I know that Lille has said they're working on Dharmata 2, or I mean, I don't think it's going to be called Dharmata 2, but I think it's like a spiritual successor with that sound. I honestly like Dharmata a lot, but I think the vocals aren't that good. I like Max Phelps and Death to All, but the vocals he's doing in Dharmata I just don't like. But I'm excited for that. I want to see, like, I just want to hear more Vaughn Stoffi riffs. He's a fucking genius. I don't know how much he's done on this album. I don't know if there are, like, writing credits for each song. Gruber Schmidt, Gruber Schmidt, Gruber Stoffi. Okay, so he's on Extrinsically Enraged and Condemned to Vascular Famine. So he's He did some of the riffs in Condemned to Vascular Famine, and that's my favorite on the album. But yeah, this will eventually become a classic. If it isn't already, because it's new, it's gonna be a classic. And any fan of extreme metal that wants a challenging listen, but also a memorable listen and a cohesive listen to this shit. It'll blow your mind.